really would like if you help me define yourself as an architect through the work you do in a sentence or through all the path that you had till now.
An architect is an artist,
As you mentioned.
but is an artist that works with a poor material, stone, brick, concrete. And according to Immanuel Kant, is a minor artist, not a super artist. Because in certain way we are not completely free, and we work because we need to realize the lifestyle for the people. So we are not completely free for the imagination, but our creativity needs to be focused to create the best condition for the life of the people.
Interesting point of view. I really loved it. There is a new, of course, you had your path and you had your professional experience, but what do you see as an ideal career for young generations, for young architects? What would you recommend?
I think that in the last 20 years, the life of each architect changed a lot. And I think that the best way to become a good architect is never stop to learn each time. And one day I met a lot of years ago a very famous architect from Florence, Giovanni Michelucci, and he had 95 years old. He died in 99. And I told him, what do you think? What do you do now? I am very happy because I continue to learn.
So it's a
That's my
ongoing.
life. Yes, what I want to suggest to the young architect, to be curious and to increase the curiosity and to have the capacity to work a lot for discover how much is interesting to change the world.
Not just focus on architecture, like expand in the field, because I saw the presentation. It
architecture,
was cinema, art.
Architecture is our last step. But if you want to arrive on top of the stairs, you need to study and to look movie, to go in a theater, to study
Art,
study
gallery.
fine art, to be in a sculpture. All the human activities are important for being an architect, for being a good architect, to be a good architect.
A good one. But what do you think of the role of the technology lately? Artificial intelligence has changed a bit, or will change, according to you, the role of the architect. How would you view it?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think that technology is a tools. The project starts from your mind, for your brain. And do you know Frangheri architecture?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. It's not very different from Anthony Gaudí. Anthony Gaudí don't have technology, don't have CATIA, don't have software, don't have computer. But I think to the space in the same way. Same way, just move the architectures. And I think that have different tools, but in the end can be that they have the same vision. Or Borromini. The architecture of Frangheri is completely connected to the Barocco experience.
Yeah, because it's a sculpture.
But Borromini don't have computer, don't have software, but they think in the same way. So I think that technology is important, like tools.
No.
But our mission is to think, to have imagination, and this is independent from the tools. Sure, technology helps you a lot to go faster, to realize better the design in a simple way, to control the three-dimensional model, give you the opportunity to control better. But also in the Renaissance, the architect relies incredible maquette in wood, and they control architecture in the same way, better than three-dimensional model.
Yeah, like how do you use with the chains and stuff like that.
Exactly.
What is the power of architecture, according to you, to change the world? And how we can emphasize that power?
I am an architect, so there is conflict of interest in my sentences. But I think that the role of the architect is extremely important, and the responsibility is extremely important, because each time, each project, we change the words. So we need to have big attention when we build, because if we build too much, if we don't respect the nature, if we don't respect the environment, if we destroy the piece of natural land, we take this responsibility. So we need to think very, very well, which is our mission in the world. So not only to build, sometimes also to decide don't build. Happens.
Did it ever happen to you not to decide not to build?
Yeah. When I built the Antinori winery, I was not the first architect. We arrived to connect with the client in the second time, and we decided, okay, if you want to realize the building in a Chianti area, I don't build any square meter outside. I want to preserve the nature. I want to recreate the landscape. I can meet only underground and create a new space in the hill and covered by grapes.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's my responsibility. I don't want to see any parking, any street, any storage. And in the end, the client accepted this suggestion.
It was a very good project, but what do you see as a danger nowadays in architecture? What can be considered from your side with what you see around?
I think that we have I confirm, we have an incredible big responsibility. We need to be responsible. We need to have a strong capacity to think that our work can be good, but can create problems for other person. So, first of all, for me, the main word is respect today. Respect the city, respect the history, respect the knowledge, respect the nature, respect the environment, respect energy. And if we take these words, respect, and put in the center of our vision, that's the main issue, the main activities that we can do.
With the respect can be also like respecting the old buildings and you see the future like remodeling these old buildings.
Sure.
Because in Italy, for example, remodeling it's like on the top than new buildings. It's in your vision, the architecture.
The Stadium of Albania is exactly an example of this. I can fight with the government for destroy the old building and rebuild a new stadium. But when I saw, I know very well before, but the fantastic monumental facade from Gerardo Bosio, I decide I need to do the maximum to respect the memory, the history, the tradition, and in the end the project I think is 10 times better now if I decide to destroy the old building. And so in Trieste also, in Trieste I built a new building, but I respect completely the old building where I insert a new building inside. So I think that we need to have the capacity to respect the memory, to respect the history, and to combine tradition and innovation. Never forget history, never forget knowledge, and never think that the future is the future. Because to be honest, the future don't exist. Exists the present and the past. But future, we don't know what's happening in the future. So, and the most important thing is to be contemporary and to live in the present. Because the present, past is past, future is a dream, but the present is our life.
The meeting point,
And is a point that move. Now is a present, tomorrow is a present, the day after tomorrow is a present. So, in what way it's possible to touch the present, to jump from the past and future, and you find exactly the present.
So practically,
I don't want to be a future architect. I want to work for the present. I love to be contemporary. I work for today, not only for tomorrow or for the past.
So practically the future architecture for you, it's like the present time, so you create it now.
Without nostalgia, nostalgia is not part of the knowledge. Nostalgia is nostalgia. But it's important, it's a very important, don't think that the happiness is only in the future. The happiness is to combine our experience and the new vision. But our experience comes from the past. So we need to respect the past,
take it,
and to create the vision for future.
I really enjoyed this, all the topic, because you mentioned all the things that I wanted to ask, and I'm going to ask one other thing, which is, what is your best experience your achievement, the biggest one, with your work in transforming the environment and bringing, serving the interest of community and changing the paradigms of construction?
If we talk about respect, there is a respect of the history and respect of the nature. So there is a project, the project of Antinori Winery. I respect the history because there is tradition. The building is done with a big vault in terracotta that come from the tradition, but in the same way respect the nature. So if you respect the people, respect the nature, and respect the knowledge, you create the future vision for the world. Because of what is a young lady has to ask, Greta Thunberg? What asks to us? Respect the world.
We are
respect the nature.
Ourselves that, I think. So.
Isn't a young, 16 years old, and the vision is a super smart. Please, he talked to Trump, he talked to the other, but the people, the politicians, don't listen here very well, but they ask only respect, and we need to do this because respect is the main issue of our work.
That's true. Maybe it's if I ask you like an advice for someone who wants to be an architect, it should be this one, or do you have another one? Like,
no. I think to be an architect means to have the capacity to feel the place, to feel the site, to feel the culture. For example, when I work in China, I try to share my experience like an Italian architect with the Chinese culture. When I work in Arabian country, I try to share my Italian experience with Arabian culture. And so the best is to share the emotion, to share the vision. And an architect is like an interpreter, like a filmmaker.
Yeah.
Create a new vision by the camera, and we create new vision by the architecture.
It's the director of the building.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that was it. So I really want to thank you for taking your time to answer to some question about the future of architecture in your opinion. So that was really nice.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you very much.